is really a world organization, come to speak, because if you're like 100 and some country, you're only short by 20, then you can be as universal as the UN.
Absolutely. We really are a global organization, and as president, traveling around the world for the past year, I mean, you can see it on paper, but when I travel around the world, from Southeast Asia to the US to Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, where I spent a lot of time this year, you can really see the global nature of ACCA and the difference that becoming an ACCA member can make to a lot of students in a lot of countries.
Is the threshold high? I assume so.
It is. It is a demanding qualification. But what I would say to anybody thinking of studying ACCA, or indeed those students that are studying now, stick at it, because it's absolutely worth it.
It's worth
it.
Yes,
it's worth it.
Well, I mean, Dean, my perspective is more from a national perspective. In the next couple of years, Cambodia, within the regional context, ASEAN Economic Community, for a post-crisis country like Cambodia, where most of the intellectual was wiped out during the killing field, and then they have to restart from scratch. I assume it must be a challenging, for ACCA to help rebuild that base. So far, what is your take on a country like Cambodia, for example?
Absolutely. Well, a couple of observations. In the very short time I've been here, it just strikes me as a very vibrant country.
Yes.
A lot of potential. You have a very young demographic.
Yes.
You've had a number of years of strong economic growth.
Yes.
And I believe that is forecast to continue.
Yes,
and
yes.
Supported by, those forecasts are supported by organisations such as the IMF, the World Bank. And I think with the opening up of the region come 2015, I think the opportunities are absolutely enormous.
Yes.
And I think the opportunities for accountants to help capitalise on that growth and position Cambodia really strongly in the regional economy are absolutely enormous.
You mentioned accountant, and I can't help but to say that to a lot of us, when we mention accountant, say, well, they're being counted. In Cambodia, they count grain of rice.
Right.
It's more than that.
Okay.
It's more than that.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, I don't think that's just here in Cambodia that misconception exists.
I feel better then.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there's a lot more to accounting. These days, companies expect a lot more from their accountants. Not only do we keep the books, which is a principal duty of the accountant, but we have to be able to tell the story behind the numbers, what's going to happen. Typically in an organisation, a senior accountant will be involved in setting the strategy for the organisation, be involved in areas such as risk management, advising on governance. Finance touches every part of the business, and therefore the accountant, the CFO, the finance director has to understand what is driving the business, has to look to the future, importantly, not just the past. What are the future developments that are going to help the company grow?
Cambodia, the way I see is that we after we emerged from the crisis, there was quite a good development in the accounting sector, in the sense that there was a big bang approach. So we were the darling of the donor community from the get-go, because mainly from the crisis mode, right? And in that sense, we benefit from that exposure of this international donor practice, who want transparency, accountability in the disbursement fund. So I think, that is a sector that I see have, compared to other professional, like attorney, for example, they have an early start. They have an early start, and that's probably good, because it does have a foundation, to move to the next step of being a member of the ACCA.
Absolutely.
So do you see that same assessment?
No, absolutely, because I mean, what Cambodia will want to achieve is sustainable growth in the future. And it's about driving that growth fraud.
Yes.
And accountants have absolutely a key role to play
Yes.
In that endeavour.
Yes. In the ACCA, so what your job is certifying, an accreditation, if I can use the word accreditation, of the accounting profession in Cambodia, so that if they are accredited, they can go and work in Singapore, they can work
Absolutely.
in Bangkok or ASEAN. In ASEAN, we have also this so-called mutual recognition arrangement, the MRA. I don't know whether accounting is part of that MIA or not. I need to find out. But for me, it's important that Cambodia start to realize very quick that 2 years' time, if we are not up to speed,
Sure.
At that level, we will not be in a position to let alone go to the country, but to give the confidence, for investor coming to Cambodia.
Absolutely, and that's very much where ACCA has a key role to play.
Yes.
It's not only about recruiting students and training members for the sake of it,
Yeah.
but we actually work here through our country